Peacock 45 here, and I got me a new Hot Shot competition pistol. I'm going to shoot it. Yeah, does all right. Didn't hold the mag back, or the slide back, but I don't know. I can probably get that gunsmith to where it works. Yeah, boy, brand new Hot Shot 1911, and I really like it. Oh, wait a minute, it says U.S. Army. You know what it is, don't you? Because you read the title of this video. This is the old warhorse, the World War II 1911 A1 specifically. Yeah, we typically call them the 1911, but somebody will remind us it's not a 1911. It's an A1. We call them all 1911s, and there are different variations of them, of course. But it dawned on me as I was looking through my records. I bought this firearm 20 years ago, so this is one of the anniversary episodes, and I am so happy to do it. Man, an excuse to bring this thing out again. Just beautiful, beautiful gun. Didn't come for lucky, and I'm very lucky, especially to be able to fire an old warhorse like this, and it works. And I'll try to remember to link to some of the earlier videos with it, the first video and then the chapter 2. We even did a close-up with it. As I've told the story, I don't know much of it other than it was carried by a World War II soldier in the Philippines in the Pacific theater of World War II. He was a minesweeper. And I ran into a fellow at a gun show here in Nashville. If you're from this area, you're familiar with the old Bob Pope gun shows. They were some of the best gun shows in this area, and they haven't taken place in a long time. But a younger fellow was selling these. I had 2 or 3 guns, and they had belonged to this World War II vet. He was very old and in very bad health, and maybe he needed the money. And he was selling, this young fellow was helping him sell his collection. And I overheard him talking to a dealer and showing him this and saying how much he had to have for it and telling his story, you know, and how the vet brought it back. He brought it back, and he was afraid he'd get in trouble, and he tried to scratch out there where it says U.S. property. Now, the serial number is still very readable, so, you know, I've had people get all bent out of shape about that. Who's tried to scrape out the serial number? Because that's a no-no. You don't do that. You still read the serial number quite fine. And that was the story, you know. So the dealer wasn't interested or couldn't afford it or whatever the deal was, or wouldn't give him what he wanted. And when he finished talking to him, I was sort of right there. Just happened randomly. And I said, can I see that, you know, and then he told me that story again. And I snatched it up because I like it. It doesn't bother me that it's not perfect like it's going to be. It was in World War II, made in 1943. I looked up the serial number several times. So that's what's so extra cool about this firearm. I mean, that is a prize piece of metal. Man, speaking of that, I also want to thank APMEX, the American Precious Metal Exchange. I got some of their stackable 10-ounce silver bars there. Pretty cool, aren't they? So check the link for them. They're really busy right now as we record this. It's a busy time, and we appreciate their support. Precious metals, numismatic coins, silver, gold, you name it, they have it. So. And I got a knife there, K-bar on the table. Just brought it out. My holster that I carry this gun in, and that's one I bought at a military show. I think in Louisville a couple of years ago. I didn't have one. John has one for his, and I just thought, man, this gun and the others I have deserve a nice holster, an authentic holster. Okay, so it's pretty cool to be able to shoot something like this, and it works. I mean, it's an A1. It's got the hump I don't like. It's got the short trigger I don't particularly like. The trigger's not very good, but you know, it shoots. It shoots. In fact, I want to shoot it some, and I want to honor this pistol by shooting it a few times. And maybe I can even hit the gong with it. I think that would be an honorable thing to do, don't you? 1943. So we'll honor this pistol and the fellow who carried it as best we can by not missing too much. How's that? Let's just put one on the gong if we can. Have I ever shot this at the gong? I probably have. All right. Oh, that's sweet. Maybe even taking over a buffalo with it would be cool. Oh yeah, how about a ram? Oh, oh man, that is so neat. Let me shoot that big old hanging tank. Oh, click. Okay. And, you know, some of these magazines don't hold the slide back. But I'm not, who cares, really? This is not going to be used in competition. I'm not going to carry it. There's an old mag. I may have trouble with that one. Oh, boy. Let's just shoot it at something here close. Like that can. Wow, speaking of World War II, it sounds like, I don't know my airplanes well enough to know what it sounds like. I just know it sounds like an airplane. All right, let's shoot the cowboy. Click. All right, so it's not going to hold slide back on any of the mags. That would indicate to me that's about 3 different mags that it's, you know, the mag release or it's a issue with the firearm. Doesn't really matter. All right. What do you want me to shoot with this thing? What would be appropriate? Anything? How about this paper? Just take it out of the holster. Let's pretend this is my carry gun, okay? All right. There's a bad guy. Needs to be dealt with. It'll still smoke pot. Yeah, I want to tell you. Woohoo! 10K. Not even. And that one held the slide back. That's a Colt magazine. Maybe that's the reason. You reckon? Has to be a Colt magazine. There's that antique magazine. All right, let's see if we can bear down, hit those 2 liters. All right. I must have barely wounded that one. Good old 45. Hits hard, no matter what you shoot it out of, doesn't it? Oh boy. Hope you get a chance to shoot one of these someday, because yeah, it's just special. Really are. I mean, a 1911 is just special and fun to shoot, and then when you get one with this kind of history, you know, just your basic firearm. And I know, you know, I've done some competition myself. You get to the point where you just don't want to shoot one of these unless it has a nice beaver tail and some of those things, a nice trigger, maybe a long trigger and all that. Great sights on it, you know. But there's something to be said for just plain Jane, out of the box, especially USGI, you know, just a GI version. And, you know, there's a big market for these. Springfield, everybody, not everybody, but so many companies make them that are kind of replicas of just the GI basic Colt. And this one's one of the best replicas I've ever seen of a GI Colt, because it is a GI Colt, right? Anything else about it? I'll shoot a little more. There's something else I was going to tell you about. It seems like I forgot what it was. But just, you know, my history of it again. This is a 20-year anniversary. I've had it 20 years, and it's hard to believe that's been 20 years since I was at that gun show and bought this thing. I think John was not with me at that show. He would have been about 12, and but that's 20 years ago. And because I think in terms of just being a few years back, but I have enjoyed it over the 20 years. And I really enjoy doing these anniversary videos because it just brings back the memories of when I bought the firearm, who I traded, and what I paid. I remember paying, you know what I paid for this? This will make you sick. $700. Yeah. If you could get these for $700 now, you'd take a dozen, right? Trade your car, whatever you had to do. Because they really have gone up, and they do maintain their value really well. They appreciate very well their value, but they're just cool, and they're like real estate. They're like real estate. There's X number of these, and that's it. There's quite a few. I'm gonna take good care of it and enjoy it occasionally. I mainly just enjoy it when you all are around. You know, really, because there's something to commemorate. We're doing a 1911 commemorative video of some sort, like we did at the 100-year mark, or you know, a chapter 2 or 3, or an anniversary of it. And you know, when I've had it for 50 years, I'll bring it out again. How's that? I promise. I promise. I'll shoot it all you want too. Okay, let's do a little bowling. Missed him. Yeah. There's a bowling pin. A red one. Good old 1911. Most of you have had the experience shooting a 1911. You've had the enjoyment. Let's shoot it with the left hand. How's that? Just in honor of Lee Ermey. I'm sure he's watching today from somewhere, don't you reckon? When somebody brings out one of these, or a Garand, I'm sure it wakes him up wherever he is. Whoops, missed it. Before I get empty, I think I'll put one on that cinder block down there. Boom, boom. Shoots pretty well to have such a bad trigger, I'll have to say. And you know, these things had a bad reputation for being inaccurate. And I think, as I've said before, a lot of it was just people are not used to shooting something like this. If you go back into the 40s, 1930s, or the 1915, 16, 17, whenever, and guys were going to war, they were taking these with them, training with them for whatever training they did with their handguns. I don't know how much, and not everybody had one. As I've said before, not a lot of those guys came off the farm or from anywhere having had a lot of experience with a 1911. And they're kind of an oddball if you haven't ever fired one. You know, any automatic, it was a revolver world during those years. And a lot of people maybe had experience with a revolver, although more experience with long guns, you know, not so much with handguns in a lot of cases. And here you got one of these. Because I remember the first one I bought, I took it out and shot it on just a standard 1911. It was a Series 70. And wow, it was weird. I couldn't hit with it. It had a strange recoil and twist to it, and it just felt really awkward. I traded it off. This was in the early 70s. And then I got another one. But about a year later, realized the error of my ways. But so a lot of that bad reputation for accuracy was just the shooter, not having bad experience, not the fact that it's loose. Yeah, they're loose, kind of, by today's standards, you know, it'll rattle and all that kind of thing. But you stand here and hit anything we can see with it, if you can just hold it on target and pull the trigger at the right time. So they're plenty accurate. So don't fall for that, okay? So anyway, for new folks, maybe first time you're seeing this, again, I'll link to some of the other videos with it. You know, I know a lot of you who are not even that familiar with these, you have to have some appreciation for these because they're just gorgeous old guns, wood and steel, plastic and steel. As a wartime model, so you know they weren't interested in doing a lot of wood carving with the war going on. In 1943, study your history. That big event was in progress, but what a piece of history. And it's a 1911. They'll last forever. A lot of people still today, it's their favorite firearm to shoot. If they're going to buy a new pistol, they will buy a 1911 and go shoot it, maybe compete with it, you know, so it just never dies. And this one's especially special, I think. So anyway, the old 1943, the 1911 A1 from World War II. I've had it 20 years now, and I just thought it deserved some recognition. I really did. So I hope you enjoyed that, because I know I did. And we may shoot it again here before we take it back into the house. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com. And also, while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.